Listen, chat. I was just minding my business, man, trying to come up with a little bit of content. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out how I can bless the streets with some good cowboy content for the day. I was just gonna mind my business. Big man Colin Cowherd, man. You know, we got a tweet from Fox Sports. Let's see who actually dropped the tweet. Fox Sports NFL on Fox dropped the tweet. Say Colin Cowherd's top 10 NFL quarterbacks. And just like I normally do with good content, we'll still, you know, I'm oblivious. You know how I get with Twitter. Oh, that smirk on Colin's face. Look at his face. Good job, Will Steele. Look, I see good content on the internet all the time, but as oblivious as I am, I ignored it. Jay Tuck tagged me too. I said, what Jay Tuck tagging me for? You know what I mean? And it's a list of people being like, yo, Voch, what you gonna say to Colin about this? I'm like, why would I have to say anything to Colin Cowherd? Me and Colin Cowherd got a good working relationship. Why would I have to? And I look at the list and I went straight to war mode. I couldn't. Now, if Colin Cowherd didn't have a history of anti-Dak shenanigans, I probably wouldn't have said nothing. You know what I mean? If Colin Cowherd didn't have this pattern of Dak Prescott disrespect, I probably wouldn't have said anything. I'd have looked at this list and said, "Oh, well, they must have made a mistake. I need to call someone. I need to call the authorities. I need to have a word with them. Somebody accidentally left Dak Prescott off of Colin Cowherd's top 10 quarterback list." I know Colin Cowherd said a lot of nonsense like, "Oh, well, Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott," and I lose sleep when he says things like that, but this is his network, so I just leave it alone. I leave it alone. But even if you feel like Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott, which is wrong, you simply cannot make a top 10 list. Put Derek Carr on it, Kyler Murray on it, and Russell Wilson at 5 on it, and not include Dak Prescott. So there's one of two things that I thought about when I was riding in the car, just listening to this, just looking at this, tweeting, I mean, I wasn't driving, I was riding, but, just, on Twitter. There was two things I could have done. I could have ignored it, Will Steele. I could have ignored it, but I got passion in me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just way too passionate and argument. Plus, we need content for Wednesday's show. So I was like, all right, instead of being irrational, emotional Cowboys fan, I'm going to take a cue from one of my favorite YouTube channels. It's complicated. Y'all go check them out. And they never flat out say you're wrong for the way you're thinking. They just simply present information and they let you think what you want to think. They let you walk away with whatever conclusion it is that you want to walk away with. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to flat out say anybody's wrong or anybody's right, because if I get too chatty patty emotional, the internet is going to look at me and call me a homer. And I want to be very careful to avoid that, because I know that 75% of the internet does not exist. Those people aren't real people, and most of the times they're arguing with me from an emotional standpoint, from a pure anti-Cowboy standpoint. So I won't even get into a shouting match with them. I won't do it. It'll be a waste of my time and a waste of my good blood pressure, my perfect blood pressure, actually, because you know what I'm saying? We getting in shape now, Will Steele. But instead of that, I'm going to simply present some facts that, you can take those facts and do whatever it is that you want to do with those facts. I'm just going to ask questions. Chat box, if you want to play along, feel free. I just want to present some things and we can just have a conversation from there. This isn't me saying that you got to like Dak Prescott, because I know, there may be an Eagles fan. It's easy to hate Cowboys, Cowboy anything in general. If you love the color blue, you probably hate the Dallas Cowboys because the damn star is blue. If the damn star was if the star was orange, you're going to wake up in the morning hating orange. You just hate anything that has anything to do with Cowboys. But I feel like if Dak Prescott was a San Francisco 49er, we wouldn't be talking about this, Will Steele. I feel like if he was a Chicago Bear to lead that team out of obscurity, we wouldn't be talking about this. If he was a Jacksonville Jaguar, we wouldn't be talking about this. We saw what without Dak Prescott looks like, right? And we take this dude, you know what I'm saying? And we insert him in that situation that was without Dak Prescott, and the team looks totally different. 12-5 team, playoff team. But we talk about the team and Dak Prescott as if they're the Jets or something. There's a Jets fan or somewhere that's going to get upset. Well, y'all picking in the top 5. Don't get upset at me. Get upset with y'all. Be angry at yourself, right? But whenever Dak Prescott is healthy, he's top 5 in every single number and metric. This isn't me making a case for Dak Prescott. I'm simply presenting you with facts. You understand what I'm saying? So I know there's a lot of different reasons that can make one, ride with a player, disrespect another player, or not like another player, right? So you could be like, but Voch, there's nothing wrong with Colin Cowherd's list. Dak Prescott is not a top 10 quarterback. All he does is lose. Well, if you have a computer with working Wi-Fi, you go to any one of your stat, metric websites. I go to StatMuse. I think they put, numbers together really well. There's this one character that's like, but Voch, all Dak Prescott does is lose. And I just looked up the numbers, and Dak Prescott is since he's been in the league in 2016, he's a top 5 quarterback in wins. Will Steele. Now we can talk about, all these other little things, but you can't call Dak Prescott a loser if he's top 10 in wins, right? If you're going to leave him off the top 10 list, hey, that's up to you. But can you in good conscience leave a guy that's top 5 in wins? What's this, 4? 1, 2? I can't even count. The motherfucker is top 4 in wins, right? With 53 wins. And we can just say that if he didn't get hurt that one time that he got hurt, Will Steele, he may be higher than Russell Wilson. But I'm not trying to lead you in any direction. I only want to spit facts. If any other quarterback was top 4 in wins, if you feel comfortable leaving them off of your top 10 overall quarterback list, cool. Do your thing. You won't get an argument out of me. But then there's these other ones that be like, but Voch, Will Steele, you remember when they used to hit you with this argument? They used to go, but Voch, his QBR is terrible. Yeah. Voch, he's a bad deep passer. He's not accurate. He can't boom, boom, boom. And sure, maybe at the time he was, but that was his old Dak. Drake has a fantastic line. Shouts out to RB Graham. There's a Drake line for everything. Don't talk to me like I'm that Drake from 3 years ago. I'm in a higher place. If you're talking about Dak Prescott as 2017 Dak Prescott, me as an objective Cowboy fan, you might be on to something. 2017, I wasn't as high on Dak. But if we talking about recent Dak Prescott, you can't look at his QBR and say that dude's not top 10 or top 5 or top 3. Number 1 sometimes. You can't look at his numbers and be like, oh, well, he's number 1 in stats. Because Will Steele, you know what they'll do? They'll look at a quarterback like Justin Herbert and be like, oh, well, Justin Herbert's, he's for quarterbacks in their first 2 years, he has the most yards. He has the most touchdowns. He has the most QBR and accuracy and all this stuff. Okay, cool. If we're looking at numbers, you cannot disregard Dak Prescott's numbers. He's number 1, 2, 5, and 6 in all important quarterback metrics. But Will Steele, I'm not here to convert anybody, not here to make it make sense for you. I just want to present you with facts. I haven't presented an opinion just yet. I haven't used the E word with Dak Prescott. I haven't used the G word or the GR word, good and great. I haven't used those words. I haven't said anything that's my opinion just yet. I'm simply presenting you with facts. If you're a numbers fan, if you're a fan to where you want to qualify a quarterback's importance with numbers, there's no way you can leave Dak Prescott off of the top 10 list. If you're someone that's like, oh, well, wins are important to me, you cannot leave Dak Prescott off of your top 10 list. But Will Steele, they could be like, but Voch, yards mean nothing to me. Why would I care about yards? Look at Colin Cowherd smirking on this graphic that Will Steele got. Look at Phil Collins looking at you, Colin Cowherd. This is Phil Collins looking at you. That's Phil Collins looking at you. Will Steele, they say, well, you know what, Voch? All that accuracy doesn't matter. All those yards they don't matter. What about touchdowns, Will Steele? It doesn't matter unless you get into the end zone. Well, Voch went to his good old stat sheet. Mind you, I'm not making up shit. I'm not making up nothing. None of this is Voch Lombardi's opinion. I'm simply presenting to you facts. You want to talk about getting in the end zone? Take a look at what Dak Prescott did last year. Mind you, he even missed a game. He missed the Minnesota Vikings game. Shouts out to Cooper Rush getting that W there. He's 1 touchdown behind Justin Herbert, a character that y'all love, a character that y'all say is better than Dak Prescott. He missed the game, and he's only 1 touchdown behind Justin Herbert. If Dak wasn't a top 10 quarterback, he shouldn't be close to this. He shouldn't be touching these numbers. Tom Brady, Matt Stafford, that y'all love so much. Matt Stafford got a Super Bowl that he threw 2 interceptions in. Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, all these top quarterbacks that you love. You love these quarterbacks to pieces. Dak Prescott sitting at number 4, so you want to leave him off the top 10 list? I even saw some I Am Legend monsters in the damn chat box talking about, oh, well, Dak Prescott's not top. Okay. So tell me where we're wrong here. Tell me why Dak Prescott should not be top 10. You know what I mean? If you value yards, if you value touchdowns, if you value wins since 2016, if you value whatever you want to say. Well, Voch, that's wins since 2016. Tell me what he did last year. I looked up the numbers. This ain't me talking no shit. This ain't me presenting my opinion. This has nothing to do with me. I'm simply presenting to you facts about my guy. 44 falls. Dak Prescott. He was 5th last year in wins, even missing the Minnesota Vikings game. And we'll still, if we keep it in the buck here, if we just keep it in the bean here, we just being honest, we're not presenting opinions. We're not really talking about nothing but facts. Ever since he got hurt in that Patriots game, Dak really wasn't. He wasn't even healed after the Patriots game. He played on an injury. So you mean to tell me, since the Patriots game, which was week 6 or 7 or so, y'all can Google that. I've Googled everything else. Y'all Google that shit. Since week 7, Dak was playing on a bad calf, and he's still able to put up these numbers. He's still able to play at a level with these other guys. Now, listen, you can say all these other little things about, these team stats if you want to. Trust me, I'm covering every single base here, because not one time have I said my opinion about Dak Prescott. I am only spitting facts. Well, but Voch, what about the playoffs? What about the playoffs, Voch? Dak Prescott hadn't done anything in the playoffs. Why does he deserve to be on a top 10 list if he hasn't done anything in the playoffs? Hey, listen, man, Voch got you, bro. Listen, Voch got you. Listen, man, whatever you ordered up. Listen. Whatever you ordered up, Voch got it for you. I pulled up playoff wins, right? Of course, the amazing Tom Brady is sitting up top with 35 playoff wins. I can't even hate on that. Aaron Rodgers, he is at 11. Russell Wilson can knock his old work. He's at 9. Pat Mahomes is at 8. Even if we're giving Matthew Stafford his credit, because he ain't done shit in the playoffs his whole career, but he gets in this situation. He has 4 playoff wins with a Super Bowl. We're giving Matt Stafford nothing but credit for that. Josh Allen, even him losing in the AFC championship game, he has his 3 W's. Cool. We talking about playoff wins. Justin Herbert ain't got 1. Kyler Murray ain't got 1. Derek Carr damn sure ain't did shit, Will Steele. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about here? Dak Prescott, and look, Will Steele, this is the only time I will kind of put some opinion into this, right? Dak has been to 4 playoff games. He's won 1 out of 3 of them. He hasn't necessarily looked bad in any of them, though, Will Steele, to be fair. Whether it be the Green Bay game, his rookie campaign, whether it be the Rams game or whatever, like Seahawks game, like he hasn't looked terrible in any of these games. The 49ers game last year. If I can just insert my one Cowboy opinion one time, this is the first opinion I've ever said. Dak Prescott has put you in relative position to win all those games. It ain't like we getting smoked in the playoffs because Dak Prescott's playing terrible. Shit, Josh Allen got 1 of them, but Dak Prescott doesn't have like a terrible playoff performance in which we lost because it was his fault. It was other little variables that led to the Cowboys losing that game. But I don't even want to put too much of my opinion into this. I only want to spit nothing but facts. Even at this point, Will Steele, I tried to figure out what some of the reasoning was. You know what I mean? Like let me try to understand where Colin Cowherd came from with the list and the placement of the list. So maybe Colin was projecting, right? Okay, cool. Well, half of this has to be based on old work. Right. That's the only reason why somebody like Russell Wilson would be here. You have to account for the idea of old work. But even if we talk about old work, and I'm not saying it, I'm back on facts here. I'm not on any opinion. We just spitting facts. If you go based on old work or even recent work, Dak Prescott as a quarterback is up there with the rest of these guys. Right. So let's just, try to figure out why Colin Cowherd would feel the way that he felt. Right. Now let me just play this. I had this clip pulled up here, right? Because Will Steele, when I tell you I go for evidence, I go for all the evidence, sir. Colin Cowherd came on the Voch Lombardi show. You know what I'm saying? We did the draft show, and I just asked Colin Cowherd about Russell Wilson. I just randomly asked. We're just trying to make conversation while the next pick was coming in. Colin Cowherd had this to say.
And so Russell and I are pretty close, and Russell told me he was very frustrated.
I can stop the goddamn clip right there. I ain't got you ain't got to listen to the rest of what he was saying.
Yeah,
you ain't got to listen to what he was saying. Now, Colin Cowherd, I know this show network, but if you need to be fixed, we gonna fix you. If Russell Wilson is on your list at 5, where he at? If he's on your list at 5 because y'all best friends, hey man, look, maybe you ain't got Dak number. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you should call Dak, see, you know what I mean? See if you can get his number, see if you get an interview. If that's why Russell Wilson's on this list, cool. I looked at Russell Wilson's work last year, Will Steele, and it wasn't impressive. It wasn't impressive. I know there's a Seahawk fan that's probably listening right now. There's a Seahawk fan that's tuned in like, but Voch, Russell Wilson got hurt. So did Dak. What's the problem here? And it's not like Russell Wilson he wasn't deprived of talent in Seattle. Mm-hmm. Like DK Metcalf is a guy that we respect. Tyler Lockett is a guy that we respect. That run game is a run game that we respect. So how come Russell Wilson has such a weird little performance or whatever, right?
Peep this.
Go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
Since Dak has been in the league, Russell Wilson has one more playoff win, and get ready, Dak Prescott beat Russell Wilson in the playoffs.
Now, Will Steele, that's not your opinion, is it, sir? Because we ain't trying to put opinions in it.
No, sir. Russell Wilson is 2-4, 2-4 in the playoffs since Dak has been in here, and one of the losses is to the Cowboys with Dak Prescott at quarterback and a clutch drive to win that game.
Now, I don't even want to put my opinion in this. I'm just gonna shut my mouth, right? So maybe there's some conventional whatever they're saying. Well, Russell Wilson, there's a change of scenery for him, right? He's gonna go to Denver, and hey, this is for y'all's opinion. I would love to know what the chat box thinks of this. We ain't got to do a poll or nothing. I just want to see what y'all saying here. You know, if y'all think, Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf aren't as good as Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, I mean, that's for y'all to discuss of whether you think Russell Wilson's talent has gotten better or not. But I think that the situations are pretty similar. You know what I mean? And in terms of we're a team that's leaning on the run. We got a wide receiver that can run some routes. We got a bigger, more physical, wide receiver, whatever. But I think there's going to be less plays in Denver. This is my opinion now. There's probably going to be less big plays in Denver as there, than there were in Seattle or whatever. I don't know. I'm just trying to get an idea of what Colin Cowherd's, thought process is, right? Oh, well, Russ gets different receivers. Maybe he'll play a little better. Derek Carr gets different receivers. He gets Devontae Adams. Maybe he'll play a little better. I looked at this, just me trying to figure out what Colin was, trying to think when he did this list. If Derek Carr gets that much better because of the addition of Devontae Adams, don't you ding Aaron Rodgers more because he lost him? I'm just trying to figure this out here. Aaron Rodgers had like an MVP year last year.
Yeah, back to back.
And he's fourth. Wasn't he like back to back MVPs or just MVP type? And he's fourth. So maybe losing Devontae, maybe I'm trying to rationalize what the idea is, but Will Steele, if Russell Wilson and Derek Carr gets that much, if they get that many points because gaining wide receivers, then why aren't like Tua on the list? Why isn't like Jalen Hurts on the list, right? Why aren't these guys on the list?
I can only think that he's putting Russ that high because of his resume. Right. I mean, he still has the talent. Like, we're not saying Russ is washed, but if we're talking about recently, he was not better than Dak Prescott last year. I just can't get over the fact that Kyler Murray and Derek Carr are on this list. I could sit here and be cool with it if you got Dak at the bottom half of your top 10, whatever. But to have Derek Carr and Kyler Murray above him, I need to know what his reasoning is. I didn't listen to the show, Voch. I don't know what he's talking about because it can't be playoff wins, right?
I'm glad that you said that, Will Steele. So, this is my next reasoning, right? So maybe he's so low on Dak Prescott because he lost Amari Cooper. Maybe. Now I don't think, I don't think Amari Cooper's worth that many points or whatever, but why don't we drop Matthew Stafford for not having Odell Beckham? Odell Beckham's not going to be available for a long stretch. Odell tore his ACL in the Super Bowl, so we may not get Odell Beckham till December. So Matt Stafford's going to have to be without Odell Beckham. Pat Mahomes is going to have to be without Tyreek Hill. Aaron Rodgers is going to have to be without Devontae Adams. And all them dudes way better than Amari Cooper. Cooper had plantar fasciitis. All these foots is okay. These 6 foots were fine, right? So why doesn't the list reflect that? Will Steele, I'm trying my best to give Colin Cowherd some type of grace here, Will Steele. This is what, watch this, Will Steele. I'm thinking, well, maybe because he thinks that, Gallup's not going to be around for the first, couple games of the season. Maybe that's why Dak's bumped down. Will Steele, you remember Kyler Murray last year when Nuke Hopkins got hurt and how shitty he played?
It's terrible.
Nuke Hopkins got popped for PED, so he's going to miss 6 games this year. Kyler Murray might have to be shitty for 6 games this year. What do we do here?
And
what do we do here? Go ahead.
I want to know where he had Matt Stafford prior to arriving to the Rams, because let's be honest here, and this is something that they don't really care much to talk about, but coaching matters. Mm-hmm. Coaching matters. And I don't even think this is arguable. Dak Prescott, of the top 10 quarterbacks, I don't think he's had top 10 coaching, top 10 schemes. Yes, he's had good talent, right? But even Bill Belichick said, talent can't always overcome coaching. And Matt Stafford was looked at and labeled as a loser for over a decade. A loser goes to an organization that has elite level front office and coaching, and what happens? He's all of a sudden a Hall of Fame quarterback, according to Dan Orlovsky. He's all of a sudden the top 5, top 6 quarterback, according to Colin Cowherd. So I just wonder if he took that into account as well, or is just straight up, hey, man, I'm cool with Russ. I like Derek Carr. I like Kyler. And Dak ain't because I said Carson Wentz was better than me. Prove me wrong.
I obsessed over this, Will. And look, to be fair, I understand with everything that we said, with all the graphics that we showed. And hell, y'all got the internet too. Y'all listening right now. Y'all can look these numbers up yourself. There's no number, no performance. There's nothing that can dictate why Dak Prescott is not a top 10 quarterback. We pulled it all here together. Look, even if well, Dak's not going to win a Super Bowl for you. Shit, Tom got 6, Pat got 1, Aaron got 1, Russell got 1, Matthew Stafford got 1, Joe got an appearance. Justin Kyler, Derek, and Josh Allen. They don't. So so you can't leave Dak off the list without leaving some of these other guys off the list. This can't be about arm talent because Tom and Joe there, right? So what's the reasoning here? This can't be, I couldn't think of anything, Will Steele. Now, it's not my place to think for Colin Cowherd. It probably won't happen, but if you want to come on my show and talk about it, he can. He's not coming on my show. If you want to come on my show and talk about it, then he can. But there's going to be people, regardless of what we say, Will Steele, regardless of the information that we present, there's going to be people that are going to constantly doubt Dak Prescott. But I'm convinced at this point it's because he's a Cowboy, Will Steele, and they hold Cowboys to just higher standards. You got to be perfect to be a Dallas Cowboy. And it's cool, man. I just want y'all to be held accountable, man, because I think Dak Prescott is a quarterback that can win a Super Bowl for you. Fuck, Matthew Stafford just won one. You know what I mean?
He had 3 victories against 500 teams over 500. So yeah.
Oh, and also there's going to be some people that said, well, Dak doesn't beat good teams. I did this video 2 years ago. Dak Prescott is top 6 versus teams over 500. So y'all go check that list. I did that video over on the Voch Lombardi channel. So I just think that it's just hate at this point. I'm not going to address it again, man. It is what it is. But Will Steele, I saw this clip on Twitter. Then after this, we gonna go to the phones. I saw this clip on Twitter, and it just tickled me. Colin Cowherd was praising the Cowboys and Dak Prescott last year.
I'm glad you found that. I was about to say, find that clip, please.
Come on, goddammit. Come on, Will Steele. This
you are watching
this Voch Lombardi Playboy. I found a clip of Colin Cowherd praising the Cowboys last year. They were 7-2 when he was praising them. And he was talking about the rest of the season that the Cowboys had left to play. And listen to his opinions of the quarterbacks that were left on the Cowboys schedule as he compared them to Dak Prescott. Let me just give y'all some volume, then we're going to move on to the phone. Just listen to this.
But even if you see that as an L, I get the Raiders, I get Trevor Siemian, Taylor Heineke, Daniel Jones, Taylor Heineke, home against Arizona, Jalen Hurts. Those are not, we view right now, elite quarterbacks, and you have one.
Oh,
you go in with an elite quarterback. You face an elite quarterback. There's usually a reason you're favored.
Now, Will Steele, I just had jury duty two goddamn weeks ago. You look like you want me to play it again. Your face says you want me to play this. I'm gonna play this shit again, Will Steele. You look like you.
I wasn't expecting. Yeah.
I get the Raiders. I get Trevor Siemian, Taylor Heineke, Daniel Jones, Taylor Heineke, home against Arizona, Jalen Hurts. Those are not, we view right now, elite quarterbacks, and you have one. Okay. You go in with an elite quarterback.
Make sure
So you mean to tell me he said Raiders and Cardinals amongst other quarterbacks? That's Derek Carr.
He literally just said that Dak was better than those dudes. What was it? 5 months later, he not. Okay.
That's Derek Carr and Kyler Murray. He said those players were not elite.
And they did nothing. They didn't win the playoff games. They didn't go to Super Bowl. They didn't go to MC. Nothing changed. They literally got to the playoffs and lost just like Dak Prescott.
He said, Cowboys, yours is. Your quarterback is elite. So Dak Prescott is elite.
Got the receipts.
Come on, son. Caught in 4K. Dak Prescott is elite. Derek Carr and Kyler Murray, in your opinion, I ain't saying shit about me. This is you. Derek Carr and Kyler Murray are not elite. How do you put the non-elite guys over the elite guys?